On this episode of Airtel Touching Lives, we have a story from the very remote village of Kanjaga in the Upper East.
It's also surrounded by a lot of challenges or problems.
We will then travel to the central region and visit a clinic that is doing incredible work in Cape Coast.
The physiotherapy department is a unit that assists both adults and children who have problems with pain or have difficulties in moving.
Touching lives, making a difference, show the world that you care, helping out one another, we can all make a change. Reach out, touch somebody, put a smile on their face, helping out one another, we can all make a change. Touching lives, making a difference. Touching lives, making a difference.
So wish it, dream it, and do it. Greetings to all of you out there. It's great to have you again on another episode of Airtel Touching Lives. This week promises to be inspiring, intense, and also full of warmth. You will understand it better as AC relates to us from the field. First on the list, though, we make a stop in Kanjaga, a remote part of the Upper East region.
A cord of 3 strands is difficult to break. It is striking how much a small community like Kanjaga has accomplished with little resources, with one heart, one mind, and powers combined. See for yourself what they've been able to do.
Today, the Kanjaga community within the Upper East is a small community with a rich traditional setting and compliance. In a community where access to basic needs are non-existent, the people, through their farming activities, strive to sustain and influence development. They are forward thinkers, determined, and work like a bigger family.
Well, I'm Saka Bukari. I'm a Wala, and currently I am the chairman of a coalition of PTAs in the municipality.
Please enlighten me further about the challenges in Kanjaga.
Geographically, if you look at Kanjaga, it's quite close to the Sahara. There are several factors that have contributed to the land becoming poorer year after year. If you go to Kanjaga, they do what we call backyard farming. So they don't have much in terms of economic productivity and that kind of thing. If you look at the cultural issues, culturally, quite a lot of the issues there are at the disadvantage of women and the girl child in particular. It's a whole area of complex problems.
There is hope in the community thanks to a positive attitude towards solving problems.
Tell me about Jacob.
Jacob he has an agricultural background. He's very active and very knowledgeable, and we know he has the volunteering spirit.
I am Jacob Akisbadik, son of Ajakinla. I grew up in this community. I am a member of the royal family. My dad is the senior cousin of the current chief. As a member of the royal family, I share in the responsibility of taking care of Kanjaga.
What's it like living in Kanjaga?
Kanjaga is a lively place. You can see that the people are very welcoming and they smile to anybody and try to befriend, at first sight. But of course, it is also surrounded by a lot of challenges or problems. You would have seen that the roads are very bad. We have a lot of educational challenges too. The teacher-to-student ratio. One teacher may be taking care of over 1,000 students.
No.
It's true. You don't put aside that because probably a bright student can still spring up, but you realize that we do not have teaching and learning materials for them. And then when you try to even create another innovative idea as to how to solve that problem, then another thing comes in, poverty in itself.
Simon Conrad Seidu, the assemblyman for the community, lives in Bogatanga, but frequents Kanjaga as often as he can, sometimes making 3 trips within a month to ensure the well-being of his people.
Can you tell me a bit about the economic status?
The economic status of the people is not all that good because they are peasant farmers, both men and women.
What are the challenges when it comes to education?
They are many and varied. The schools are quite distant, and the children, they need at least a meal, afternoon meal. Another challenge is ICT education. It's very important that we have a connection to the outside world. A lot of people have these cell phones. They are able to access a lot of things. But once you are not well educated, you cannot know what to do.
I attend school at Kanjaga JHS. We are lacking math things at the school, especially like the ICT laboratory. I haven't seen an ICT center before, and I haven't touched a computer before. We are only having the books, no practicals. Sometimes if they taught us in the classroom, without the center, we can't understand. So we don't know whether we are moving ahead or we are not moving further.
The community built the center. Jacob and the elders raised money through various means, including annual harvest festivals.
Jacob, tell me about the center and what you've been able to do so far.
We were able to build our center, and it's a very normal building of 6 rooms. We also managed to acquire a number of computers from our own brother who hails from Denmark. And we, after trying our process, realized that they are faulty and cannot be used for the center. And that's how far we have gotten to.
What more help do you need?
We would want to acquire at least 30 computers to be able to fill the 6 rooms. The vision of the center is to create that center that is able to accommodate both in-school pupils or students and out-school pupils or students. In fact, you can be as old as Methuselah and still come to the center and go to school, because it is about a set of computers and a set of teaching and learning materials inside a software, and then you go access, and wow, you become what you want to become.
How will the center contribute to the development of this community?
It is going to have a very great impact on the community in terms of education, in terms of knowledge, in terms of, I mean, we as a farming community with ICT, there is nothing you lack. There's nothing you lack. And so it's going to have a very great impact. It's not easy. When you have an ICT center, it's an educational monument.
Kwamaka tenka bomzidi kaji banyinga balisela bimbanza laga boda zamsi abag zamsi chenninga kwa tabaka niyo yega tabachumba jana ba yafisa ba machum.
If it happens, should you get the help, how will you feel?
I feel very, very happy and very, very humbled.
For any community to attain holistic development, it must have total commitment to its members with a view of meeting the collective needs of the people. In this regard, Kanjaga has shown exceptional leadership and deserves commendation. The chief and people of Kanjaga, Airtel congratulates you on your bold initiative.
We have so much more coming right after this break.
Touching lives. Oh, hello there. Woo. I gotta make a change. I can smile on by myself, but it won't mean nothing if I don't put a smile on someone else. So I'm gonna smile.
emotions are contagious. Within us is the potential to transform lives through our actions and attitudes. Make your change with Airtel.
Touching lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming these wonderful achievers all the way from Kanjaga. Jacob, you've done so much with so little. But I was stunned by that statistic you gave me, that to every trained teacher, there are 1,000 students that he has to cater for. I mean, how do you explain that? How does that happen?
Yeah, we have so many schools in Kanjak. In each of the schools, you realize that it's either a people teacher who is taking care of them, which is actually nullified because he or she is not trained enough to take care of the children, or they will be just one or two in the whole school.
Mr. Simon, I would want to know from you also, there was particular reference to the girl child education being a bit of a problem in Kanjaga. How serious is that?
It's quite serious. The girls are to do the household chores and so forth and so on, go to the market, fetch the firewood, and the boys are just to go to the farm and come back. And because of that, and also the fact that when the girl is of a good age in terms of marriage,
she's married
they
out,
just married out. And eventually you see that only boys are going to the JHS and then proceeding to the SHS.
So how do you explain this? Anyway, Jacob, I mean, apart from being such a committed member of the society, you also come from the royal family. I suppose that puts a lot of weight on your shoulders as a leader.
Yeah, I am just one grain of a sand inside the many that lie at the seashore.
So I'll tell you, Honorable Simon, and then also Jacob, we are grateful for all the effort you're putting into developing your community. You've done so much with so little, which tells us that if we give you a little more support, I mean, no telling what you can do. You would do amazing stuff for that. So Airtel Touching Lives wants to assist you with a few items. First of all, we want to give you some computers, brand new computers, to stock your ICT center. And apart from that also, we will be giving you an ICT expert who will help you set up the computers. We'll give you internet routers. We'll give you audiovisual materials to facilitate the learning and teaching process in your community. And this, I'm sure, would go a long way to help you achieve your objectives. Yes. And that isn't all. Airtel Touching Lives will also be giving you books. We'll supply you with the relevant books that you need and all the teaching materials you need to facilitate education at the ICT Center. So all this goes to you. Great. Yes, and it's to support your efforts. Just tell me what you feel about this.
We feel very excited. We are certainly emotional. Yes, we have been energized to do more for our community.
Very grateful. And then I say we because there have been a lot of people who have had to work on the backgrounds to make this work through. And all of us, from the president of the development of Kanjak in Accra here, who is just here also, to even the last student, even the one who is yet to step foot. We are very grateful, and we pray that just like you've touched so many lives in Kanjak and Bulsa South, may you continue to move higher in your aspirations as the word Kanjak also moves.
And thank you all too. You've done such a great job with your community. Keep on doing the great stuff. Airtel will be there to support you all the way through.
Thank you.
As with most things in life, we have little control over the things that happen to us. But what we do about them is what makes all the difference. Let's visit Daniel and the Physio Center at the Central Regional Hospital.
Some of us are fortunate to have the use of our hands and legs without any difficulty and even take it for granted. But for some, it takes the help of others to be able to perform simple tasks like sitting, walking, and standing. For these persons, the physiotherapy department of the Central Regional Hospital has been their lifeline.
Daniel lives with his wife and 3 children in the staff quarters on the Sokfenaf Plantations Company property inside Dabuase.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm Daniel Chumesi, as usual. I'm a teacher by profession, and I'm married with 3 children. Currently, I'm living here in Dabuase with my wife and then my mother-in-law.
Daniel and his wife have 2 healthy children. The third had an incident during birth and was diagnosed with cerebral palsy.
Tell me about Asida.
Asida is my third born. And in the course of delivery, my wife had a little problem at the hospital. And after the delivery, we were told that he wasn't able to breathe, he wasn't able to cry, and then he was entangled with the umbilical cord. So they took him to emergency. We realized that he wasn't able to suck, he wasn't able to eat, he wasn't able to sit, he wasn't able to walk. All those activities that is being performed by children of his age, he couldn't do anything.
I just had a baby myself and had a similar challenge, so I can appreciate what you must have been through. How does the challenges make you feel?
Sometimes we become very sad when we see him lying down, we see him not being able to get up to go to school and then perform other activities. We feel very bad, but all the same, we are trying to bear it and then accept the challenge.
Tell me about Asida.
When I was giving birth, he delayed in coming, so he suffered cerebral palsy.
Other people won't keep such a child around. Why have you kept him?
I've kept him because I know it is the will of God to sustain him, keep him, and give him the necessary affection he needs.
What challenges does he face with cerebral palsy?
He's now 3 years old. He cannot sit. He cannot produce any sound apart from cry. And he cannot take solid food. He can't do anything. He always depends on us. He's always indoors. So my mother is taking care of him whilst I'm going to work.
How does his condition affect you as a mother?
It affects me a lot because the siblings always say they want to play with their brother outside. Why is it that always their brother is indoors? So at times it makes me feel sad and unhappy, but I am managing. We are managing it through the help of Central Regional Physiotherapy Center. And I hope with that exercise we take him through, he will overcome the situation.
The doctor said that the problem that he's suffering is only physiotherapy, which can help, that there's no medical cure. So that's why we started going to a physiotherapist. But sometimes we're not able to go due to financial burden. And when we got there, we realized that in fact they are doing a great job, but they don't have enough materials that the children can use to exercise. So I decided to nominate the hospital so that we will come to their aid. I believe if they have more equipment and enough time, I think there will be an improvement in my son's situation.
Where we are is the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, and the hospital is located at Abura, a suburb of Cape Coast, on the way to Kakum.
Mr. Aqua, the chief physiotherapist at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, talks to AC.
The physiotherapy department is a unit that assists both adults and children who have problems with pain or have difficulties in moving. Moving as in the case of having stroke, Parkinson's disease, or for the children, cerebral palsy or L palsy. So in this department, we rehabilitate individuals to send them back to their working condition or back to a situation that becomes functional. Aseda is suffering from cerebral palsy. So those parts of the body that are damaged becomes difficult in being used.
What challenges are you having in treating him?
The amount of care, the time that we need to spend on the child is less because of inadequate equipment or space as well. So you have to be in a queue.
The physiotherapy department is very busy, under-equipped and understaffed.
Having a child like this, one child alone, is like having 4 children together and catering for them. So it's a daunting task for the parents to keep the child and then treat the child and care for the child. So you need more support.
If Airtel assists by providing equipment for the center and also supports my boy, I'll be the happiest person on this earth.
Touch your lives. Oh, hello there. Woo. I gotta make a change. I can smile all by myself, but it won't mean nothing if I don't put a smile on someone else. So I'm gonna smile with you. So make your change today. Oh yeah, I'm gonna smile with you. So make your change today.
Actions and emotions are contagious. Within us is the potential to transform lives through our actions and attitudes. Make your change with Airtel.
Touch your lives.
Aseda couldn't have been in more perfect hands. And guys, please, all of you join me to welcome into the show Daniel, his wife, and then also the physio, Mr. Aqua. Daniel, how do you deal with this twist of fate that all the joy and expectation you have in your next baby turns out to be a baby who totally depends on you for virtually everything?
You know, in life, such things can happen to anybody. All that I can do is to face the challenge and then look forward to God for his healing.
Josephine, my understanding is that per his condition, he needs to exercise all the time. His limbs need to be moving, and how do you do that?
We often do it at home, and we have been scheduled to go for physio once every week.
Is that a routine, doctor?
Usually, it should be more than a week, more than a visit a week to the hospital. But because of inadequate staff and space, we managed to get them once a week with the hope that whatever we teach them, we do it at home.
The children?
With the children.
Well, Daniel and Josephine, Aseda couldn't have been in better hands because the love that you have for this child is what's sustaining him. It's become his lifeline. So I say thank you on behalf of Airtel Touching Lives. And then also to you, Mr. Aqua.
Yes.
You talked about equipment.
Yes.
You are doing a great job in your department. And Airtel
you.
Touching Lives wants to support you.
Thank you.
By supplying your department with physiotherapy equipment.
That's great.
It ranges from crutches to walkers to playthings for the children to wheelchairs. All that will be supplied to your department to help with the good work that you are doing there. Also, we want to give you some specialized materials for the children especially, to help them with their exercise and etc. It will all be provided for your department so they can continue doing the great work that you're doing. Other physiotherapy departments.
It's quite good news. You look as if I'm born again today.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it's a good news for us.
We are all very happy. And also for you, Daniel and Josephine, parents of Asada, would also be providing you with some equipment that would help you exercise Asada at home. Okay, so that you don't have to always use the tedious means by doing it, but there's equipment to do that, and we want to give you those equipment so that Asada can exercise at home. So Daniel, you have a home equipment for Asada. Just tell me what you feel about what Airtel is doing for you and also for the hospital.
First of all, we are very grateful to God for what He has done for us. And secondly, we're also very grateful to Airtel.
It is my prayer that God will also replenish them for the little that they have done for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. And Josephine?
I'm very excited. I'm happy that at long last, something fruitful has come out of our effort.
And we thank you too, Mr. Aqua, for saying we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay. You can achieve anything you want in life if you have the courage to dream it, the intelligence to make it realistic, and a plan. And you also need a will to see that plan through. Thank you for staying with us. See you again next week. Goodbye. Next week on Airtel Touching Lives, we look back at Dora's story and see how she's doing now. We then hit the road with Winifred from Kumasi, who has a passion for helping out the villages in the Upper East region.
Touching lives, making a difference, show the